and the whole group was dispersed. They now shifted to mainly rural terrorism, targeting unarmed civilians again. I can only remember a few cases where they attacked detachments of the UPDF. We are to therefore build the anti-terrorism capacity of the country. Now, building this anti-terrorism capacity meant 4 measures. Here I have used the word targets, but it's the same thing. So the 4 measures which we put in place. Measure number 1, stop the ADF, COIN, and all those rebel groups from capturing power, because that's what they wanted, to capture power. So measure number 1, don't allow them to capture power, to capture political power. Number 2, stop them from controlling any part of Uganda. You remember when we were fighting for the whole period, for 4 years out of 5, the NRA was controlling the Ruero Triangle. So, number 1, don't allow ADF, don't allow COIN and those groups to capture power. Number 2, don't allow them to control any territory in Uganda. Number 3, stop them from interfering with human settlements in the rural areas and the economic activities of the people. In other words, enable the IDPs to go back to their homes. Because you remember at one time, they had created a situation where people couldn't stay in the villages and had to run to the IDPs. So we had now to ensure that people did not live in IDPs, they went back to their homes. So that was measure number 3. And number 4, stop them from committing atrocities in Uganda like the one of Nyabugando. Because when you block them on all the other ones, then because of the weakness and because of their bankruptcy, that's why they think, if we cannot attack barracks, we cannot attack police, we cannot attack, let's kill people. Unarmed people, soft targets, so that the government is blamed and we can show that the government is not protecting the people. So that is now aim number 4 of our counterinsurgency strategy. By 2007, all these 4 had been achieved. All the 4 had been achieved. Couldn't capture power, couldn't control territory, could not, the other one was number 3, not force people to go to IDPs, and number 4, no massacres of unarmed people. By 2007, all these 4 had been achieved. The last desperate effort was in 2007, when 100 of them entered Uganda from Congo, and 87 of them were killed by the commandos in Semliki National Park. They had come to sabotage the Commonwealth. You remember 2007, we had the Commonwealth meeting. So apparently their incursion that time was to sabotage the Commonwealth meeting of that year by committing terrorist atrocities that would scare delegates from coming. Since that time, they could no longer send groups into Uganda. Mark all those words, because every word I have written here, I wrote it myself, and it means So from 2007, they could no longer send groups into Uganda. They now tried to concentrate on individuals. Now, if you cannot send a group, then the next struggle is to send an individual. Because we in the army, when we talk of a group, you mean a section, 12 people. A platoon, about 40 people. A company, about, it used to be 146, but these now have made it bigger. I think the company is now bigger. So, from 2007, when that group of 100 was wiped out, they could no longer send a group into Uganda. Now, if you can't send a group, then how about individuals? They don't come as a group, but they come as individuals. Individuals, which is another challenge to deal with. When somebody is no longer sending, I'm no longer sending a section, I'm no longer sending a platoon, because when I send, they are noticed and wiped out. So what do? Let me try now to send individuals. Individuals. They now try to concentrate on sending individuals that would plant bombs. You remember the bombs? The bombs. That would plant the bombs. They planted a total of 34 bombs. You remember those bombs they were planting in the bus? But using individuals. I come alone, Nabanja comes alone, Badiomus comes alone, and we meet somewhere. Infiltrate from Congo to Uganda individually now. And those were the ones now planting the bombs. One person, two people planting the bomb. We however, eliminated all those bombing efforts by arresting or killing all those involved within Uganda. So that campaign of individual infiltration and planting bombs was also defeated. So ADF can no longer send a group, they can no longer send individuals to plant bombs. So what would the ADF now remained in Congo. This is where the anti-NRM foreign agents based in the Monitor paper become a comic group. There is a paper called Monitor. That Monitor is full of foreign agents. And I have now sent people to analyze them. We know who they are now and for whom they are working. They are foreign agents. So the Monitor newspaper, I remember I with the headlines. Headline, oh, terrible, Uganda has collapsed now. There were those headings of Monitor recently. You could trace them. This is where the anti-NRM foreign agents based in the Monitor paper become a comic group. They're a comic. Bakusesa. When the incident like the one of Nyabugando unfortunately occurs, they come up, security in Uganda has collapsed. ETC. Now, what is the plan of these wonderful people? Is it to shift Uganda from the Great Lakes and put it where? Because you hear, we have eliminated ADF from Uganda. They can no longer operate in the rural areas. They don't control territory. They are in Congo, but from Congo they can no longer infiltrate groups. They can no longer even easily infiltrate individuals. But we are still here. We have not shifted Uganda to take it to, I don't know where I would put it, which is safe. Middle East? Mwagala kutwala Uganda, Palestine. Oba bagala kugitwala wabano aba monitor. Uganda tugitwale wakati. France, all those places have their problems. So, for us, we are here in Uganda and in the Great Lakes. Ate bakusigala wano, ate tubadde wano all these millennia. So therefore, although we defeated ADF, ADF was still in the neighborhood. And in the neighborhood, we can't shift Uganda from here and put it where. So we had to struggle. We could not shift Uganda, and instead we fortified here by having a strong army and intelligence service. The question is, how do you ensure total security in the continent of Africa where colonialism ensured excessive political balkanization? Because that's the challenge. You stabilize within Uganda, like for instance Karamoja, we have the same problem. You stabilize within Karamoja, but the guns remain in Turkana, in Kenya. And some other guns remain with Topotha in South Sudan. And some other guns remain with Pokot in Kenya. So, what do? You must see how to handle that situation. And I will tell you how we have been in all these situations. And this is all because of the political balkanization, the fragmenting of Africa into these small states. Because a country like the United States, you have got one political authority, one management, from New York up to California. That is, you take 4 hours by plane to go from New York to California. It is like from here to Johannesburg, to Pretoria. All that land and people are under one political authority. So if there is security to be handled, it is handled by one authority. But here, from here, 20 kilometers from here, another political authority. So you have got so many authorities. So when you defeat the terrorists here, they go to shift to where you don't have authority to act. And that's what you, the young people, should be talking about. That's what we were dealing with when we were growing up. The integration of Africa. But now, operating where we are now, where the political landscape is fragmented, what do we do? If you have the right ideological orientation, you do what the NRM has done in Uganda by ensuring the following. Number one, a strong army that can fight any type of war. I can assure you, anybody who brings any type of war here, we shall defeat him, whoever he is. Whoever he is. big or small, we shall defeat him. So number one, that's medicine number one for all this. Number two, a strong intelligence service that uses both human and technical means to detect and locate the enemies within the borders of Uganda and in some cases outside Uganda. So that is the second medicine. The third one, maximum political cohesion within the country based on the broad-based legitimate interests of the people. To have as many people united as possible. And in Uganda, people are really united. There are a few traitors who are always going to the embassies. We know them. We are following them. They are also supporting the economy of Uganda by drinking coffee in the embassies. So, because they really go there and the embassies have budget to feed these wonderful people. But we follow them who try to encourage this. But the majority of the people are together. So that broad-based cohesion. Then number four, this is where now the Bazukuru you could come in. Pan-African efforts to work with sister African countries on matters of common interest, such as trade, etc., including security. So therefore, the medicine of the NRM to peace is number one, a strong army. Number two, a strong intelligence service, human and technical. Number three, maximum possible political cohesion. I'm saying maximum possible. If there are those who don't want to be with us, we forget about them. Ayo musogakova take sobose you have done it. Uniting as many people as possible. And then, number four, the Pan-African cooperation. Pan-African cooperation. Because these people are not in Uganda. They are somewhere else. So you try to work with the government of those countries to handle the issue. This is how the NRM has turned Uganda into an island of peace in the region where Uganda is not generating refugees and is instead receiving the highest number of refugees in Africa. And number three in the whole world. So now we have Chikopo to Kituti. We are number one in the number of refugees in Africa, and number three in the whole world. In Africa, we have gold medal for refugees. In the whole world, we have got bronze for refugees. And Uganda does not have refugees outside. There are no Uganda's. By 1986, Uganda was number 4 in the whole world in the export of refugees. We were competing with Afghanistan, with I think Ethiopia and Sudan. We were number 4. But now we don't have any political refugee outside. All our people who were outside, many of them as refugees, became diaspora. They're no longer refugees, diaspora, because They can come back anytime they want. They are staying there voluntarily. They are not staying there because they are not forced. So Uganda, instead of becoming an export, a refugee-generating country, is now a refugee-receiving country. And why? Because of the measures I've put here. A strong army, a strong intelligence service, maximum possible political cohesion, but also Pan-African efforts. By relying on a strong army, a reasonably strong intelligence service, and maximum political cohesion possible, the NRM has been able to keep the away from Uganda ever since their defeat in Semliki Valley in 2007. However, the ADF were there in Congo. Although their growth is not dramatic, they don't grow. ADF doesn't grow. They don't grow. Because groups which could grow like Fronasa, when we were fighting Idi Amin, ADF does not grow. However, the ADF were there in Congo, although their growth is not dramatic, but the Congo government of His Excellency Kabila, supported by some regional and international actors, gave them free tenancy in North Kivu and Ituri. They were mining gold, selling timber, harvesting people's cocoa, collecting taxes, extorting money from people, etc., etc. They were modestly growing and with money. They also developed linkages with other terrorists like Al-Qaeda. However, all this does not mean much for the NRM, UPDF. We will always defeat any anti-Ugandan terrorist group within the right conditions, given the right conditions. In spite of the modest growth and free territory the Kabila government gave them, they could not enter Uganda in force. What I've already said, they could not enter Uganda in force, by section, by platoon, by company, at all. They could not enter Uganda in groups at all, and could infiltrate individuals with a lot of difficulty, like the ones who killed General Katumba's daughter. Those came as individuals, and that's how they managed to come. Now, given this, should we and can we close the border with Congo, like the Israelis built a wall between Israel and Palestine? Because you know the Israelis built a wall. They built a wall between Israel and Lebanon. I was watching on the news, there was something on the wall yesterday, on that wall, between Lebanon and Israel. And then they built a wall between Palestine, West Bank, and Israel. Should we and can we close the border with Congo like the Israelis built a wall between Israel and Palestine? Who would lose most, apart from the issue of the cost of for the wall? Uganda earns $606 million per year by exporting it to Congo. All this would be lost. Besides, we would harm and annoy our people and the Congolese people that live on the borders. These are the same people, Bakonjo, Banande, Banyoro, Batoro, Batuku, Bahema, Banyamboga, Arurs, Rugubara, Lendu, Kakwa, that's why I always ask Anita whether she's Ugandan or Congolese. You should ask Anita. She will tell you the story. Mm-hmm. The Kinyarwanda speakers, the ones of Kisoro and the ones of Rushuru, etc. Recently at Kyankwanzi, I met a delegation of Congolese members of parliament. To solve the problem of translation, since I did not have a French speaker on my side, I spoke in Runyoro Rutoro, and the Honorable Tobasima Atenyi, MP for one of the constituencies in Ituri, Congo, translated to the others. So I was speaking in Runyoro Rutoro, and Tobasima was translating it to the French speakers. There was also an MP from Mahagi, who is an Arur speaker, with whom I exchanged my little Arur, Nedi, Afoyo Bino, who were exchanging. With Dr. Mona, the MP from Mahagi, they continued blasting off in Luo. They forgot about us. They became Luo now. So we don't know what they were discussing, whether they wanted to kill us or what. But if they want to kill, I can understand that one. My Igbo has improved. Neko. When I hear Neko, I know. So when you hear Onek, Neko, all those, that is killing you now. These are the people that would close off if we tried to physically seal the border. So the question of sealing the border is out. Sealing the border is out. How could people enter Uganda? Because I saw some people commenting about this incident of Nyabugando. How could these people enter Uganda? They entered only 2 kilometers. And entering 2 kilometers is really, you cannot stop it, because so many people are crossing that border, and in so many places. These are people that would close off if we tried to physically seal the border. Cut off the toll, because it has been invaded by Jiga. When a Jiga goes into your foot, then you cut it off. That's not good. No. The NRM patiently removes the Jiga and preserves the toll. Therefore, closing the borders, building walls is out. The only ways are, number one, to crush the ADF, kuhura, like you thresh millet. When you club the millet with a big club, it's called okuhura. Oktokora is like if something fell in a leaf fell in my tea here, I would oktokora, I would remove it. I don't know what they call it in Uganda, to remove. Like remove something that has fallen in your tea. Kuraza, in the hunting, you watch the animal and you see where it has entered. That is kuraza. And kutoza is to track. To track. Kutoza is to follow the track of an animal. Fortunately, with the coming of His Excellency Tshisekedi to power, he was more cooperative. He allowed us, since the 31st of November 2021, to kuhura, thresh the ADF. It had good results because the ADF had foolishly gathered in big camps, confident that they were invulnerable and no force could reach them. Now, I don't know whether my people here can show us the videos of those people.
Your Excellency, sir, I'm Captain Collins Tumwebaze, Coordinator of Aerial Surveillance and Reconnaissance, Operation Shuja, together with Lieutenant Agre Bainomulisha, a pilot and system operator. I will first interpret that video. In the video, we are using thermosensors, so the image depends on the difference in temperatures. So black objects seen in that video reflect hot bodies like human beings and fire frames, while white background reflects vegetation or forest cover, which is a bit cold compared to the human beings and flames.
Okay.
However,
okay, thank you. Let me what this army officer is saying. Put it back. Put that thing. Yeah. What he's saying is that these are cameras in the sky capturing ADF camps in Congo at night. This is at night. And the other video which was there, you can see the trees. You can see here you can see the trees. Bring it back near. Bring the. Who is controlling the? You control it. You the one who knows. Now you freeze it there. Freeze it. Stop moving. Now you can see there. White up because these cameras. They are using body temperature, the temperature of things. So the white things, if you see carefully, they are leaves. They have the shapes of leaves. If you watch carefully, those are trees. The black things under are human beings. Yeah, the black things are human beings. Go to the other one. Now, watch hiyo kwanza. Hold on that. First show us there was the one white, where the people were white. Go back.
It's there.
You can see there, those are human beings. The white things, they are human beings, and there's even fire. Is this fire?
Yes, sir.
Fire. But there was one which was showing buildings also, a building.
There is another one. It comes in the next video.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
So now, okay, so there you can see the human beings in under the trees. Now, once His Excellency Tshisekedi allowed us, we applied the medicine which you will see. You put the guns firing. Show the BM firing, not the vehicle. Put the vehicle back. Put the vehicle. Don't move it.
Freeze it.
Freeze it there. Let it fire, but in one place. Okay, that is now the medicine for these groups. So these camps were hit by when His Excellency Tshisekedi allowed us. Can you show us the same camps after being hit? After being hit, we saw them when they were with the people. Show us when they were hit. That is after. Oh. There are no people anymore. So the trees have mainly, what is that white? Those are trees again?
Yes, those are trees, and then there is a column of soldiers, of ADF remnants, reorganizing near that building there.
I can see them moving actually.
Yes, sir.
But it's not so clear. So, here in my booklet, I have a number of pictures which you will see in the booklet. Pictures of the camps of ADF before the attack and after. I have them here. Now, then, there are also pictures of the victims of ADF in Congo. Show us those pictures. The people they killed, the massacres, like the one of Nyabugando. Those are all dead bodies massacred by ADF. In Congo, that's what they have been doing. You can see those scars. Put back the other one, that one there. Those are people's heads. People's heads. In Congo, that's what they have been doing. All these years, from 2003 up to now. Continue. Those are victims again. Those are children killed. You see how they cut children? Those are vehicles destroyed. People killed. I think people killed, the vehicles burnt. People killed. No, those are weapons we captured. We captured from them. Vehicles, weapons captured from them. Weapons captured from them. I think that's a camp where our people had entered there or something. Weapons captured. Now, that one is an ADF big commander from Tanzania. He was a Tanzanian, killed. Now these are the Wananchi of Congo having gone back to their homes, no longer in camps. I think they were having a rally or something. More pictures. Those are Wananchi now back. Now, apparently, that's one of the camps, IDP camp, without people now. Okay, go on. Any other pictures? That's the last? Okay? Okay, thank you very much. So, you saw those terrible pictures. What the ADF has been doing in Congo, and you see the Wananchi now back in their villages, in the area where we have operated with the Congo army. Now, after repeated kuhura, the pounding, like you saw, how we were destroying those camps. Because here, to summarize, what I was showing you was two things. Number one, the ability of your army to see where these terrorists are by day or by night. They have the capacity to see, as long as we are allowed by the neighbors to do so. So the seeing is not a problem. The Nkonyogo, the Mjugujugu, the stones to throw at these terrorists once they are seen is not a problem. They will be destroyed. What we showed you was just one of the systems. There's many other systems. Even the terrorists in Somalia, we can reach them from Uganda here with our aircrafts, provided Kenya allows us to refuel on our way back. So the army has got a very big capacity to see and to destroy, as long as the terrorists try to be in big groups. After repeated kuhura, and remember the kuhura is like the other of threshing millet, the ADF has done two things. Shifted to beyond the Beni Eringeti Commander Bunya Roar and broken in smaller groups, which they hope are not easy to see. And some individuals hiding in the trading centers. They also entertain shallow ideas like, let us send smaller groups inside Uganda to kill people so that these Bakafiri, that's what those stupid boys call Ugandans, that we are Bakafiri. These Bakafiri relax their pressure on us in Congo. Unfortunately for the ADF, the Bakafiri, the indigenous people of Uganda, regardless of their religions, have enough troops to hunt ADF up to Mbandaka in Congo, if the Congo government allows us, and also guard the rear in Uganda. The problem of ADF has been military only for the period between 1996 and 2007, when they were totally defeated. After that, for a long time, in spite of being given free control of big portions of Eastern Congo, the ADF problem remained degraded to an intelligence and diplomatic problem. So here, for you to understand Ugandans, I would like to introduce those three words. A military problem, an intelligence problem, and a diplomatic problem. Because this is what these three words must be harmonized. When ADF was trying to, when they attacked us in 1996, when they attacked Mpondwe, they were trying to be like a military force, army to army. And we quickly destroyed them. So they ceased being a military force now. So, if they are no longer a military force, where you can use military as the solution, what then do they become? They become an intelligence problem. It is now a problem of looking for a needle in a haystack, as the English say. Okunonya empiso in the grass. But now, in this case, also involving diplomatic, because this pistol you are looking for is not in Uganda, it is in somebody's farm. It's not in your farm. So, military intelligence, just to locate, but also diplomatic, because these people are not where we have got authority. They are in somebody else's area of control. So therefore, when you are discussing, because I see people discussing, oh, really, they really discuss. You can see somebody becoming really an authority. Know what is what. Military, intelligence, diplomatic. So I think that would help people to intelligence problem, because those who are able to defeat them, like UPDF, need to know where they are in Congo and what they are planning. That's what intelligence is about. To know where they are, who they are, and what they are planning. Because when they were, okay, I will come to that. In other words, the eyes and the ears. So in other words, we need the eyes to see like those images you saw. Those are called overhead images. They can be taken by aircrafts, by UAVs, by satellites. We can take those pictures like the ones you saw there. So those are eyes now up from above, by day and by night. But then you can also have ears to hear, to hear. The eyes and the ears. Both the eyes and the ears can be human, meaning informers, or can be technical, machines. You can also add the nose to smell the evil people, i.e. the canine, the dogs in tracking. Sometimes our people don't use all this, because when I was in Barregi, dealing with the issue of the cattle rustlers, I was quarreling with the police. Why they don't use dogs? Dogs are very easy, very, very useful. You remember the people who were killing people in Masaka after the elections last time? We finished all of them. They were all arrested, helped by the dogs. Because the dog can't go wrong. You introduce it to the scene of crime, and that's why I would like to appeal to you Ugandans. When you get an incident, don't rush there, all of you, and Kujrao, because you interfere with Obanyankole call it oburari exinde ndozo Uganda bayinza okukyita exinde, the trucks. Yes, keep away, don't all rush there. What then the police first come and nani. So the intelligence, eyes, ears, and the nose to smell. The smelling is done by the canines, the dogs. They can't go wrong. Since, however, the terrorists, or the ADF were given free control of Eastern Congo, ever since battalion number 23 handed back the control of Bunia town to the Uruguay contingent of the UN in April 2003, they built some numbers and built big camps, as you have seen above. By the time Operation Shuja started, ADF had about 2,000 fighters. This was on the 30th of November 2021. They had started to again pose a military problem to the Congo army by attacking some detachments and even attacking the detachments of the UN, like when they attacked a Tanzanian detachment on the 7th of December 2017. All this was on account of the diplomatic problem of the Congo government not allowing us to assist them with the ADF when neither they nor the UN have the capacity. This is what His Excellency Tshisekedi did in 2021 when he allowed us to attack the ADF. Since they had made the mistake of establishing big camps, we quickly degraded their strength, and they have now either fled to beyond our limit of exploitation, where we are allowed to operate by the Congo government, i.e. Beni Erengeti Commander Bunya Road, or they have broken into small groups, like the one in Marika Valley, south of the Mpondo Kasinde Beni Road, from where a small group that killed our grandchildren at Nyabugando Secondary School came from. In other words, within Uganda and the area west of the Rwenzori Mountains for a distance of about 70 kilometers to the west, as well as the Virunga National Park, ADF is no longer and can no longer be a military problem as long as the diplomatic problem of the Congo government allowing us to help them is maintained. We can also follow them beyond the present line of limit of exploitation when the government of Congo allows us. Therefore, the residual problem of ADF is an intelligence problem to locate where the remnants are and what they are planning. Because now we have the other two. We have the military. If they try to be big, we see them quickly and destroy them with all those means we have. The diplomatic, His Excellency Tshisekedi has now addressed it. So it is now remaining the intelligence problem. But this time the intelligence, because there are smaller numbers, the other eyes in the sky may not see these smaller numbers. So you need another way of locating the smaller numbers. So we already have good capacity in this area that we have used to degrade the ADF from a military force to a mere band of terrorists only looking for soft targets and armed people to kill. Why not attack a detachment of the army? Why not attack a police station? Why not ambush troops on the move if you are a fighter? They no longer have the capacity to do that. We degraded them. We need to, therefore, fill some gaps in intelligence collection, and that will be the end of ADF both in Congo and Uganda. Attacks like the one of Nyabugando are on account of the relaxation in the area by the security forces because the area had been peaceful for a long time. Actually, as I wrote in my earlier piece, they had tried to do something similar north of the Rwenzori Mountain in Ntoroko on the 13th of November 2022. 51 of them entered Uganda in the area of Rwesengo to do exactly what they did at Nyabugando. However, the Wananchi saw them, quickly informed the army responded quickly, and 26 were killed, 25 were captured, 37 guns plus 7 IEDs were captured. In my executive order number 3 of 2023, and in an earlier directive of the 19th of May 2023, I had ordered the putting in place of police units of 18 persons per sub-county with some motorcycles to help them respond to calls of distress anywhere in the sub-county. I thought of the number of 18 because I wanted 12 to be regular armed police, and then the other 6 would provide the CIDs, etc. The 12 could be organized in squads of 4 each. One of these squads to be on standby, ready to move immediately to the area of need. These people are on standby, should be fully dressed, guns nearby, motorcycles fueled, ready to move any moment. This solves 2 problems. Number 1, they guard the police station so that you do not have situations where a police station is attacked by surprise because everybody was stand down, not ready. Secondly, they are ready to move out to respond without loss of time. Another squad should immediately come out to guard the station while the 3rd squad is resting, sleeping, so that they get fresh. They change every 8 hours. I saw somebody called Kabugo. There's a lady called Kabugo saying that the police had taken long to respond in the case of Nyabugando. It is possible and likely because they were stand down, not alert, maybe not dressed up, maybe many of them off duty. I direct Elizabeth Kutesa, my police advisor, to investigate and report on that issue of the police state of readiness in the area of Mpondwe in 3 weeks. However, with the implementation of the executive order, even in peacetime, we have had peace here for a long time, so we are all relaxed. Should not be there. There should always be a standby group, even in peacetime. However, with the implementation of the executive order, even in peacetime, there will be a group ready to move to answer a call of distress. If there is a terrorist threat in the area, we upgrade the situation by recruiting LDUs per parish. You see, like the situation of Nyabugando. First, there was total, I suspect there was total stand down. Stand down in the army means not ready, relaxed. So I suspect there was total stand down in the area. Because when we say stand to, get ready, you are dressed up with your boots, with everything, with your gun nearby. In some cases, you are in the trenches if you are near if it is a field camp, or if it is like a police station, you are ready. But if you are not ready, something happened, then they come, then you start dressing up, then you lose time. You lose time. So therefore, I am directing the police. I had already directed them about the 18 per sub-county policemen. And we have the numbers. Get me my calculator. because the police force is now 53,000. So if you put 18 policemen per sub-county, the sub-counties are like 2,000 something. That will be like 36,000 policemen. So you have the numbers. You should put them there. So that this business of delaying because people are not ready, because if you have 12 people, you break them into squads of 4. 4 armed and ready to move. But they need some picky-pickies, quick movement. Then when they finish 8 hours, another 4 come and stand by. Then when they finish another, the other ones, the rest, then the other 4. So in that way, you will be combining peace without stand down. Because now people, our security people confuse peace with stand down. Because there is peace. So I want to check what this Kabugo lady was talking about in the case of Mpondwe. Because she said that one of the children walked to the police station, then they didn't respond. Yes, they may not respond because they are not ready. If you come, then I start dressing up. Tying shoes around takes time. So therefore, now, but if, so first of all, I think they may have been stand down. But besides, if there is a real threat, we shall not only have the police and the army, we shall also have LDUs. Because that's how we defeated the ADF in the mountains. We had the LDUs. So those who panic, like this monitor paper, who try to cause panic in the people. Oh, yes, there's a problem because we are near Congo, which is perpetually harboring those people. Unfortunately, there was some gap here, and they exploited it. But it will not continue. Now that we have a shock, we shall react. And if we react the way we have reacted in the past, what will they do? Yeah. We have the army, we have the police, now stand by, we have the LDU. Why would anybody who has seen what has been done in the past cause panic among people? Really? Didn't you remember when we had bigger problems? When people were in IDP camps? How can you say the situation is out of hand unless you are an evil person wishing for people, or you are ignorant? If there is a terrorist threat in the area, we upgrade the situation by recruiting LDUs per parish. Those terrorists of Nyabugando would never have gone back if we had put these measures in place. It was just a gap that is closable. Nevertheless, the Nyabugando terrorists have been followed. And now I was talking to Major General Dikolum. From that time, 12 of them have been killed. This particular group, 12 of them, and the commander, so-called commander among them, who had an Acholi name called Rubanga Kene, was killed among the 12. And 10 guns have been taken from this particular group. I got this from Major General Dikolum just before I came here. here I had put less numbers because I wrote this a bit earlier. When there is a threat of terrorism or even ordinary crime, all the residents in the sub-county should have a toll-free sub-county police telephone number, which people under attack should ring. You see, for instance, it was just like the girls, the 20 girls. Were they 20 or 17? There was 17 and 20. These terrorists attacked the dormitory of the boys first. The girls were not attacked, but they remained shouting. That's what I heard. They didn't run away. They just remained in place shouting because I think they thought people would come and rescue them. But if they had scattered, these people would never have got to them. But they stayed in one place until they came and shouting. You can see this was just what the Baganda say. Echekango, techimanyi muzira. Echekango, when something comes as surprise, even a brave man can panic, according to the Ruganda. Echekango, techimanya muzira. Even the Banyankore have a similar proverb. They say, they say that omukaru is the meat you put on the spit. Now, if you throw it to a dog, the dog may run away from meat, because it thinks that you have thrown stone at it, when in fact you have thrown meat at it. So, surprise, this was definitely. But what I'm saying, that request of a check that request should end. We should always have, you implement my order, have standby group 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but in squads. One squad is on standby, the other ones rest. So, and here I'm talking about now the coordination now, the coordination. How to coordinate on anti-terrorism, but also ordinary crime. When there is a threat of terrorism, or even ordinary crime, all the residents in the sub-county should have a toll-free sub-county police telephone number, which people under attack should ring. When there was in Masaka area, a group of criminals called Chidawarime. When the Chidawarime group attacked people in the area of Masaka in 2018, on New Year's Day 2018, these people, criminals in Masaka, attacked people there. This was the initial problem, the problem of coordination. Because in the villages, when there's a problem, you make a nduru, alarm, and everybody would hear in the village. They would come. Now, the nduru of today is the telephone. You ring the concerned group to come and respond. But if you are not well coordinated, that lack of enduro can also cause loss of time, and these criminals get away for some time. So when the Chidawarime group, this boy was called Chidawarime, attacked people in the area of Masaka on New Year's Day 2018. This was the initial problem, the coordination, the nduru. The criminals, using the noise of the disco that was in the trading center of Kisaka, tried to attack the home of Mr. Katerega, which was nearby, who was headmaster of a school in Mubende. Fortunately, the house windows had steel bars, and the wife refused to open. The people in the house were making alarm, but the disco noise from the trading center was drowning it. The wife, of course, had a phone. I say, of course, because everybody in Uganda has a phone now. And she rang her husband in Mubende, who then rang the RPC in Masaka, etc., etc. Such a long chain of alarm making wastes time. Fortunately, the criminals failed to enter the house of Katerega because of the Mtayimbwa, and somebody heard the alarm and responded. The thugs fled and killed a retired police officer by the names of SSP Dennis Sebugwao and 4 others on the way. However, one of the thugs lost his way and was arrested by the Wananchi and lynched, leaving some information behind. The police was now aware of the identity of the criminals, but not where they were hiding. However, the villagers were now alert, because I visited this area on New Year's Day 2018, and we talked about to the people, we told them to be ready to ring now. Instead of the woman ringing the husband who is in Mbende, who then rings another policeman whom he knows, the communication should be within the sub-county, from the victim to the police of the area. Instead of that long chain of... However, the villagers were now alert. On the 10th of April, 2018, the other attack was in January. This was now 10th April, 4 months after. On the 10th of April, 2018, the gang attacked a house in Mukono village, Bukurura sub-county, occupied by a nurse, Nachambade. As they were struggling to enter, Nachambade rang the officer by the names of Stephen Twinomugisha at the nearby police post, and she threw away the phone. After ringing, she threw the phone because she didn't want the criminals to know that she had run. She ran to far, threw away the phone. As the thugs were entering her room, as the criminal, Chidawarime, was now ordering Nachambade to undress etc., the police arrived and shot at the thug that was outside the house. Chidawarime was forced to abandon his project of raping the victim, tried to run, but was gunned down. So this was just communication. Communication. Nduru going to the right place in time. The whole gang was eventually wiped out. The criminals and the terrorists Uganda continues to face given the strong foundation of the NRA UPDF, are easy to solve, given the defeat we inflicted on the militarized versions of the counter-revolution in the forms of Konya and ADF, original and the external backers. Because these people, we defeated them long ago. The fact that they can no longer operate as a military force. Mubibinja, they can no longer operate in groups. Mubibinja, Oba Obubinja, they can no longer operate as in Mubibinja, not even as Obubinja. Now the only way they can do is individuals. Mm-hmm. And why can they not operate in Mubibinja? Because they know to do so is death. Because then we can see you more easily, and we deal with you. We have the capacity to deal with you. So now, the way is to be in tomorrow individuals or tomorrow group or tomorrow groups. So it is now. So what do we remain with? If they can no longer operate as military groups, what do we need to deal with? It is just a case of alertness. Number one, intelligence gathering, and coordination between the security forces and the public. Jemirimo jetulina kwe kusomozebwa. Alertness, intelligence gathering, and coordination between the forces and the public. That's what happened in Toroko on the 13th of December 2022, when the 51 came to kill people. They wanted to do the same in Toroko like they did in Nyabugando. But there, the identification happened quickly.
650 billion US dollars.
The army research was informed, and they didn't waste time, and action was taken. And the whole group was wiped out, 51 of them. 25 were so killed, the other ones captured. Therefore, in conclusion, the attack on the children at Nyabugando by ADF does not mean strength, but great weakness. They cannot attack an army detach. They cannot attack a police station, and they cannot attack soldiers on the move. The only people they can attack are the unarmed people. How can that be strength? Nevertheless, what they do is reprehensible, inhuman, and so unfair to the victims and should not happen. Who are the people to stop these brutalities? Uganda, working with the countries of the region, using the military, intelligence, and diplomatic means. I'm going to call the National Security Council in the coming, maybe next week or if there is time, because I've seen some people moving around, like I saw one RDC in Chejegwa closing United Discourse. Abana Uganda twagala nnyo okusanyuka. Abana Uganda bagala nnyo okusanyuka, abazzukulu kubasibira mu nyumba. We are going to discuss it. It's not necessary. This is not such a big force, such a big nani. So put my executive order in place. Police, I can see, is that Katsugazi? Put my executive order in place, be standby, have the communication, and let the Wazukuru Basanyuke have their things, but tell them what to do in the case of, because I don't think ADF is but we shall discuss it. We shall discuss it more formally and issue a written order. ADF is being wiped out. On the side of the Uganda population, all of us need to be involved in wealth creation through PDM, the Myoga, the commercialization of agriculture, and the industrialization, so that our children and grandchildren do not remain available for these manipulators to misuse by being recruited into ADF and other shallow groups. Because many of these children who join these groups, they join them partly because of misinformation, but also partly because of poverty in the homes. And that's why I want all the, and I'm very glad I talked to the Muslim sheikhs the other day, that all the families need to be involved in wealth creation so that they have income and the children are not desperate, staying with the uncles, staying with what. That's how they get lured away, because they have some discomforts at home. So I thank you and I wish you good luck.
Address. And of course, all the viewers out there, wherever you are catching us from, many thanks, and we are definitely here to give you some bit of the highlights from the State of the Nation address. Of course, President Museveni has highlighted something to do with the ADF, and of course taking us back to the matters to do with our soldiers representing Uganda in Somalia, all of those. And of course also paying keen attention on the matters to deal with the fact that the army or UPDF will definitely be working hand in hand to ensure that we do not have to worry about the issue to do with insecurity, especially in southwestern Uganda and in some parts of the western part or the borders of Uganda and the DRC, where the ADF do seem to be a big threat. But well, besides that, you get to realize that security has forever been something to worry about. And as a matter of fact, as we kickstart off, as we kickstarted off the year, these are some of the key highlights still in this, in the nation, in the president's address, that he will always put security as a key priority among his key factors as well. But well, besides what the president has highlighted, let's first of all have some of our top stories in regards to tonight's bulletin.
To provide expedite mechanism for concessional liquidity at the backdrop of COVID-19 pandemic. With about 2/3, $420 billion of the allocation headed to developed economies, the major balance awfully falls for the developing countries such as Uganda, whose SDR quota currently stands at 361 million. It is on this basis that the African Forum and Network on Debt and Development, AFRODAD, together with Uganda Debt Network, UDN, have called for a robust restructuring of IMF's special drawing rights SDR system, citing disproportionate tendencies.
There was a campaign by civil society organizations, including AFRODAD and UDN and other partners, to ask the IMF to release special drawing rights, and it was agreed in 2021. But what IMF did, it issued 650 billion USD for in terms of special drawing rights. But what happened to the continent of Africa? It was given only $33 billion to share among the 54 African countries. So we already see an inequality right there about when you look at the distribution.
We are saying if Uganda is getting $600 million and a country like maybe US gets $1 billion and they do not need that money. So why wouldn't they sit down as World Bank, as IMF, of course, together with World Bank, and say, okay, we know you have so much as what is entitled to you as a quota, but my friend Uganda here, who is suffering, has only one. And you actually might not need this money. Can we allocate this money to these poor countries? And so that then they boost the economies.
During the 2021 general SDR allocation, developed countries which are least likely to require liquidity received approximately $450 billion, constituting almost 70% of the total allocation, although this follows concern over the past pandemic burden at the most affected regions.
The SDRs, we think they are not fair. Why they are not fair, SDR is member countries of IMF, they have quotas depending on how you contribute. So the bigger economies have bigger share. The smaller Ugandans have a small share. So they based on that quota to give those SDRs. We got like $600 million, I think. That's what they allocated to us, and I think so far they've given us about $490 million. That money is put in the budget to boost the economy, and much of it started by the COVID-19.
Kenya's Fidelity Nisihimana, who doubles as the campaign and communications officer at AFRODAD, underscores the need for IMF's SDR restructure and the importance of ensuring that SDRs are directed to countries that require them most.
IMF could be a good institution. It could be. But it's a very imbalanced, it's a very unequal system that does not help Africa to rise. So what we are actually asking for this conference is a restructuring of the IMF and the World Bank. Without a restructuring, they'll keep on sinking African economies into deeper debt, into deeper poverty, into deeper vulnerabilities. So we need the IMF and World Bank to be restructured.
Figuratively, Africa received $33.8 billion in SDR, $139.4 billion for Asia, $6.9 billion for developing Europe, and $51.5 billion for Latin America, plus the Caribbean, representing a cumulative 35.7%, and thus a disparity in the contrast of the big powers. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
All right, fast forward, moving ahead, transport decrease. Parliament, together with the Ministry of Works, the Uganda National Roads Authority, the Uganda Police, plus other stakeholders convened earlier today to figure out mitigation for unsustainable transport. From the various considerations, a bus rapid transit system and resurrection of speed governors were considered. Still, markets and road reserves are to be cleared as finance was directed to inject more 40 billion Ugandan shillings to enforce traffic and road safety. Samla Hanifa reports.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Mong, has informed the House of the latest development to enforce sustainable transport in the country, presenting immediate and long-term resolutions believed to be in position to address the rampant road accidents. Following convention with UNRA collectively, the Roads Authority has provided toll cars, media houses are to offer free awareness campaigns, and the Finance Ministry urged to increase the implementation budget.
As of today, all the televisions have agreed to give us airtime for us to be able to create awareness on accidents for free. It's a fight for the whole country. It's no longer an issue of parliament. Replacing missing road furniture, such as the road signs, reflectors, fences, etc., and exploring the use of appropriate alternative materials to minimize the vandalized ones and safety.
The Finance Ministry has been requested to expedite extra 40 billion shillings to the outstanding works to the implementation of the Traffic and Road Safety Act. Similarly, UNRA has been tasked to immediately evict markets established in road pathways.
It needs to reintroduce the installation of speed governors in all vehicles to regulate the speed. 11. UNRA is directed to immediately remove the roadside markets and taxi parks that have encroached onto the roads and road reserves. For example, when you go to Busega, will you even pass? When you go to Lukaya, Kareilwe, Kamocha, all those areas, you go to Kireka, Chalwajala.
The Committee of Infrastructure presented its report on road insecurity, availing contentious recommendations to government. Among them included adoption of the bus rapid transit system, a development that was highly contested previously. According to Honorable Dan Kimosho, Uganda's reliance on roads has cast a lot of pressure, thus government needs to invest in alternatives such as marine and air.
Road. There is a need to develop a bus rapid transport model and to expedite the renovation and revamping the railway sector in Uganda. The aerodromes distributed in different parts of the country should also be renovated and air transport made affordable and encouraged within the country. Within the adoption of the multi-modal transport system, there will be a reduced number of vehicles on the road, and the majority of the population will use a mass transport, which will potentially be safer, cheaper, faster, reliable, and economically productive. The committee recommends that government fast-track development and operationalization of a bus rapid transport model.
Additionally, the botched speed governor issue has been resurrected despite death at the start. Legislators believe it's a good idea, although it's bound to be cast out by corruption.
Necessarily agree as opposition and me as a person that there is urgent need for speed governors. Let's address the issue of accidents in a broader sense. In principle, we don't have enabling signposts as we speak now, governing speed and directing drivers. That's one. Two, we must work on our roads. As we speak now, the roads are in a bad and sorry state. Incidentally, the status of the road itself is a cause of accidents in this country. Three, we need the proof that actually the traffic laws and regulations are followed in the licensing and issuing out driving permits. Otherwise, for driving most of these heavy-duty vehicles, there is a requirement of a number of years and experience required for someone to be licensed. But as we speak now, people just assemble relatives, friends, and they are given public vehicles.
Regular monitoring of vehicles has been mandated to Uganda Police as money for automatic registration of automobiles and procurement of speed guns, all considered among a string of further considerations. Samlanifa, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
All right, now moving on, let's talk matters Uganda-Iran relations. Now, following President Saeed Ibrahim's visit to Uganda, the Iranian president's two-day visit has come to a close and 5 memoranda of understanding signed. These were in regard to agriculture, international affairs, and the creation of a joint permanent commission. The memoranda of understanding underscore the importance of the high-level diplomatic visit by the Iranian president and the two countries' dedication to increase cross-sectoral collaboration. As both countries work out to strengthen economic, political, and cultural ties, the occasion has deepened a long-standing socio-economic relationship. According to President Museveni, Uganda is a big agro-market for Iran, capable of producing anything due to the favorable climate. Still, President Museveni confirmed the inspiration from Iran to effectively invest in the oil and gas sector, more so with the contentious oil refinery. And well, of course, the Iranian president has summed up his visit in Africa, that is by visiting Harare, Zimbabwe today afternoon rather. Now, moving further, we talk matters accounting deficit. The professional accounting has reportedly contributed to roughly quite huge figures per capita GDP. However, Africa continues to face a shortage of qualified public accountants, with approximately 123,000 professionals from a population of 1.3 billion and 3,500 for Uganda. The gap is further worsened by accountancy inefficiencies that have locally been linked to administrative loss. Ultimately, enterprise managers, chief finance officers, and the accounting body have called for redress of this crisis. Naomi Mutumba reports.
Value of accountancy has been equated to that of a mid-sized economy, although this contrasts with the output, as locally, part of the administrative inequality is attributed to bad accounting that translate into public expenditure losses, and the professional number simply at 3,500. As the number of accountants figuratively rises, experts predict a further boost to economic growth. In response to this trend, CEOs and CFOs are embracing new synergies and recognizing the invaluable role that accountants play in ensuring financial success.
It shows that a good professional accountants, a good accountancy profession in the economy drives the economy. The same way we have seen that a good finance team drives a business. So it's our desire that as numbers have grown of our membership, that the CEOs and CFOs come at the forefront to promote that those synergies, to promote the drive of the accountancy profession as an economic driver for our economic growth.
The relationship and synergies between the CFO and the CFO are great. The company thrives in terms of performance. Resources are prudently managed and allocated to what's more important for the institution. What we see is the careers of both of them thrive, and the board of directors or the governance framework for the institution works perfectly in sync. But where we see dysfunctional behavior between the two, it leads to chaos in the organization. So it's very, very important that the two roles are complementary to each other for the success of the institution.
Effective resource management is commendable towards economic development. According to the Pan-African Federation of Accountants, the transformative impact of resource allocation represents an 11% surge in GDP per capita, 7.4% increase in tax rates, and a 16% rise for inward foreign direct investment. The results highlight the significance of astute resource management in driving economic progress.
Most especially from the perspective of innovation. And then from the perspective of innovation in our organizations, we can now contribute to innovation to the whole national economy, and then be able to address issues that affect us, unemployment, high cost of doing business and stuff like that.
It's important that government and all stakeholders look at how we can support the accounting profession, because the role that it plays in ensuring that we develop faster is so great.
Despite Africa's 1.3 billion population, severe shortage of accountants still lingers. The current total of approximately 123,000 accountants in Africa highlights a significant deficit in the profession, as the alarming disparity underscores need to address the shortage in view of sustainable finance and economic development.
We have 300 accountants in Uganda, and we have 123,000 accountants in Africa. 123,000 accountants serving a population of 1.2 billion, 1.3 billion. Now, studies show that the more accountants there are in a country, the more the rate of growth of GDP. So it's important that these numbers of 123,000 in Africa, which represents 0.012%, is increased to a number which can support development.
As an institute, we are also a trusted intermediary, providing support to professional accountants within the country, especially professional accountants in business and small and medium practitioners, to contribute to high quality information and improved decision making.
Locally, there has been a concern over prudent financial management as government-led initiatives such as PDM, Emyoga, battle corruption and ineffectiveness. While these programs aim to empower communities and stimulate economic growth, effective resource management remains a challenge. In turn, prudence is linked to transparency, accountability and proper resource distribution.
I'm encouraging the accountants and the institute to relate closely with government, development partners, international organizations within, to see how we can support the drive that they want. Currently in government it is SACCOs, it is the PDM, and a lot of money is being put in there. If you want a lot to come out of this money, if you want indeed to achieve the outcome, which is increasing household incomes, it's very, very important to involve the accountants, because they will bring light into what is happening in all these small little establishments that are being created.
Stakeholders across Africa are increasingly focusing on addressing the shortage vis-a-vis a professionalism, as audit in public expenditure offers major links of poor accountancy to misperformance and inhibited growth. Naomi Mtumba, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
All right, now lastly, we turn our eyes to investment in renewable energy. While a bigger portion of India's investment portfolio in Uganda is identified with finance and manufacturing, the community has expanded further into energy, and the new investment front has thus been directed towards renewable energy as the global transition bites in the work of climate protection and net zero. Ronan Ahabwe has details.
Uganda's renewable energy profile diversifies to involve biomass, hydropower, solar, among others. Exploitation of those at hand hasn't, however, been effective due to limited investment and technology transfer. Importers and exporters, wholesalers and decision makers have looked into possibilities to explore the untapped potential in the market. The Electricity Regulatory Authority has vowed to work with UNBS to realize quality standards for all electrical utilities.
Equipment you see here, for example, transformers, these solar panels, there are lots of equipment generators here. We want to work closely with UNBS to make sure that when these things come, they have a standard they have to meet as they get onto the electricity grid or into Uganda's electricity homes. Okay? So that is something that we're working on. So our partnership with UNBS is growing in all aspects that do with the regulation of anything called electricity. So why are we here in this exhibition? We are in this exhibition as a sector regulator to have a presence. Some of the questions that are going to be asked here relate to the regulator. They're going to ask about standards. They're going to ask about price. They're going to ask about entry into the market. The reason we're here is to make sure that we answer those questions. But other than that, other than the exhibitor side, people who come to visit the stalls here in the exhibition, they ask every question. Why is the price of electricity what it is? Why is my power going off? For example, there's a story that ran today that Mulago Hospital 7 babies died because of a power blackout.
For the market factions, local and Indian investors in the sector, there is common ground found in the presumed high import bill and lack of disposable income for Ugandans to invest in solar and alternative energy forms. To the local players, competition isn't a scary factor as they intend to entrench into the local market.
Usually being a developing economy, there are many levels of the people who do not have adequate disposable income to invest into solar equipment, for their homes or offices. In that area, what they do is usually go for cheap kind of products from which are not actually certified or even matching up to global IEC 61427 solar standards. So what we are working upon is to bring in, to counter this challenge, is to bring in products which are cost effective, which are easily accessible, easily affordable for...
Previously it was 25%, which was even very much.
but now they have increased it to 35%, which is even higher. So we have had to completely stop the private sector supply to local suppliers. We are only supplying directly to government now.
That we deliver in the market are really of high quality and they are very durable. This makes customers to trust us, and even if there are other people who are coming with other products, the customer loyalty that we have built over the last 18 years in this market, they really keep coming to us. Someone who bought from us a switch will come again to buy a circuit breaker from us, to buy a bulb from us. So another thing is that we offer a variety of options. We have the biggest electric mart in East Africa.
The State Minister of Energy, Okasai Opolot, has rallied investors, especially the well-placed foreign on technology transfer for that which will serve the needs of the country. Otherwise, such billion investments will be useless.
I want your active involvement in developing these technologies and making sure as we adopt them, they should also be relevant to our situation. We should not just transfer, bring it and use it.
As the electricity utilities market grows, powered by energy transition, more investment in the sector is more likely to be emphasized by supportive policies on renewable energy trade and technology transfer. Renana Habwe, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Well, there you have it. Many thanks for being part of the bulletin tonight, and of course for following up updates in regards to the State of the Nation address that was rotating around issues to do with the country's security. Till tomorrow, have yourselves all the best for the evening and a wonderful night. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko with Winnie Buyinza Nakauchi, who has been in here for sign language. Good evening.